Disappointment is not something you want to feel when watching an anime, and it's not something you want to come out of an anime with and be able to describe it as. But sometimes there are those anime that just don't hit, they fall flat, and there's a multitude of reasons for that. Perhaps you're a manga reader and you just didn't find the adaptation to be up to standard, found it uninspired and lacking uh, compared to the source material. Or perhaps it's just not very well done. Perhaps the original story just isn't well done. Like, there are many anime like that. But I have one of those that I am just painfully disappointed by due to being a manga reader. But that'll be a separate video because this is the first of 3 videos I'll be making this week on Twin Star Exorcist. Twin Star Exorcist is a manga with an anime adaptation. It's 50 episodes, I believe. And oh boy. When I went into Twin Star Exorcist, I hadn't quite read the manga yet, but I really liked the concept. And I wanted to do something interesting when I first started watching it, because it was by this point that I actually started making videos. So I thought, oh, I could try and get some content out of this. And so after watching the first episode, I decided to pick up the manga. And well, that's where things became disappointing and went downhill for the anime. I found that the random filler that was slower and more dragged out and just painful to watch, it was slow, agonizing. And then when you actually got to main story, it was like over in a heartbeat. It's like they skimmed over actual content and instead spent more time focusing on inane bullshit that doesn't matter. And that's one of the problems of starting the anime when there are not too many chapters of the manga out. However, Twin Star Exorcist publishes monthly, but we'll touch more on the manga at the time. But there was 20 chapters out, I believe, when the anime started, which was more than enough to cover a 24 episode run. Hell, even a 50 episode run, because of chapters coming out every month. 4 episodes a week. You probably make, I don't know, 2 episodes per chapter. You wouldn't catch up that quickly. You could easily do a 24 run. You did not have to extend it to 50. But hey, but that's not the only problem. I didn't just find the filler slow and boring. I'd read the manga, I knew the story, and then when watching the anime, something felt wrong. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I thought about it more and paid more attention. And I noticed, hold on a minute, why do I feel like some of these events are out of order? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It has been a while since I watched Twin Star Exorcist anime, but I feel and like I remember some events taking place in a different order. And as such, the impact of certain scenes and the way a certain character was introduced felt way less impactful and didn't set the character up as well as it was in the manga. And on top of that, they just decided to add not just filler, but completely new story beats. For example, Rokuro, the main character, he has a cursed arm, and in the manga, there's an encounter with a certain character, and in that encounter, stuff happens. However, in the anime, after that stuff happens, he loses control of his arm, and the power of his cursed arm overwhelms him, and he goes psycho, which doesn't happen in the manga at all. And then they make a small mini arc about that. Like they make it a sub point for the next couple episodes. It's like, this doesn't happen. Why are you focusing on this, which never happened and is completely irrelevant? Because, well, as soon as you get back on track with the manga, all of that will have been completely irrelevant and hasn't added anything to Rokuro's character. If anything, it's made him seem weaker because he can't control his own power. It shows maybe perhaps his resolve isn't as strong as he leads on to believe, or that we believe his house. I'm butchering what I'm trying to say here, but you get the gist. The changes the anime made to the source material were just detrimental to the series. At least, in my opinion, they were. And it was really sad, because I wanted to enjoy the anime, because I really like the manga. As you'll find out, I'll be making a whole video talking about just the manga itself. even though I have touched on it a little bit here, perhaps more so than I have the anime specifically. But the anime just disappointed me. It wasn't a fun watch. I didn't find it entertaining because it just bored me. It disappointed me. I had expectations. I knew what I was supposed to be getting, and I didn't get what I should have or was expecting to get. Perhaps that's a whole other topic. Expectations, and whether you should try and suppress them when going into an anime or a manga or anything for that matter. But that's a completely different topic for another video. But for me, Twin Star Exorcists anime, as I've said countless times this video, is just disappointing. And I picked it up twice. I picked it up when I first watched it, dropped it, picked it up again because I was like, okay, maybe it gets better. Maybe it'll get better. And then it hit another massive filler arc. And, well, I couldn't be arsed with that, so I dropped it. They introduced a character that didn't exist in the manga, another plot point that didn't exist in the manga, and it just spiraled and spiraled and became so inherently boring, and it felt like a slap in the face, really. And it felt like it was just not. This might be a bit harsh, but it felt like it was disrespecting the source material to a regard, with just how unbenign and unenjoyable the anime original content was. Now, if the author of the manga was involved in the writing of those arcs, well then your writing for those arcs just did not hold up to your writing for the manga. And if you did supervise that, then, well, why didn't you incorporate it into the manga? Because you could have, but whatever. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Twin Star Exorcists anime. Well, there is one positive to the anime of Twin Star Exorcists, and that is that the 4 openings we have are all absolute bangers. Like, they slap. If you haven't heard them, go listen to them. But don't do what I did and get interested in the series. Well, get interested in the series, but wait till the next video I upload, which will come out on Wednesday, for what you should actually do with the series and where you should actually begin, which is with the manga. But I'll talk more about that in greater detail when the time comes in but a few days. So yes, go listen to those openings and don't watch Twin Star Exorcists anime. You can if you want to, but don't expect the best anime you've ever watched. That's really all I've got to say. Don't be disappointed like I was. It's not fun. It's not good. It doesn't feel good when you get disappointed by an anime either, because you've spent time watching it, and you come out being like, wow, I could have watched something way better. A new series or something that I feel like rewatching, but instead I chose to watch this, and now I'm disappointed. And yes, this has been a pretty negative video, but nonetheless, if you liked it, well, leave a like, comment, sub, hit the notification bell, do whatever the fuck you feel like, you know the usual deal. And with all that said, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I'll catch you all next time for another video. Ta-ta for now.